All right, let's go.
County. Ms. Lawrence?
Thank you, Chairwoman Williams. The county would like to call Kelly Wilborn as its first witness.
Good morning, Ms. Wilborn.
Good morning.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to give in this matter today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state and spell your name for our record.
Kelly Wilborn, Kellee Wilborn.
Thank you.
Kind of sounds like she's talking inside that microphone.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Ms. Wilborn, are you currently employed by Milwaukee County?
No.
Were you previously employed by Milwaukee County?
Yes.
What were the dates of your employment with Milwaukee County? And approximate is fine.
Sure. September of 2022 to February of 2025.
What was your title when you were employed by Milwaukee County?
Human Resources Manager.
For less than 3
when
years.
you were a human resources manager, what departments did you work with?
I supported combined courts related operations and the district attorney's office.
Did you encounter Lorenzo Edwards while you were employed by Milwaukee County?
Yes.
Did Lorenzo Edwards contact you about an employee discipline procedures in November 2023?
Yes.
Was Commissioner Edwards looking to terminate an employee at that time?
Yes, he was.
Did you concur with?
I don't know why they bring this up at all.
No, I believe my recommendation was to continue with progressive discipline and issue like a final written warning for that person.
Smear him
and how did Commissioner Edwards react to your suggestion to proceed with progressive discipline in lieu of
he doesn't want to
termination?
get fired.
I believe he disagreed with it, given the policy says that employees or leaders can act with discretion and can skip steps in progressive discipline.
I'm sorry.
So we decided to show him what that looks like.
We do have a message in the chat. It seems that one of the witnesses may need to step away. If we could address this quickly with Mr. Bruno. He's asking if he can step away and come back if he's not needed to testify this morning.
Yes, that's correct.
Crazy.
Do we have an approximate? Okay.
Sorry.
Mr. Bruno, if you're on the call, feel free to step away at this time and we will contact you when we need you back in the meeting room. Thank you.
Bruno.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you for the interruption. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and they leave the witnesses to do that themselves versus having a proper.
I'm sorry, Ms. Wilborn. Could you repeat your last answer for me? I think
Yeah,
if you need the question again, I can ask that.
I think it has everything to do with
no, that's
this
fine.
Bruno
I believe
guy's
that
way.
he disagreed with that recommendation
Can you
because
look
there's
him
a
up?
policy that allows for leaders to have some discretion and skip steps in progressive discipline.
Were charges for discipline filed against the employee ultimately?
No.
Do you know why no charges for discipline were filed?
I believe that Commissioner Pruz was aligned with the decision to continue with progressive discipline as opposed to filing charges for discharge.
Do you know why Commissioner Pruz agreed to disagreed with the conclusion to seek termination?
I would have to speculate that I just think it was because, you know, the actions weren't egregious enough to warrant skipping steps.
And it sounds
Did
like
Commissioner Edwards contact you
guidelines
to request that you investigate
progression.
his claim that Commissioner Pruz was harassing him shortly after this interaction about the termination of an employee?
Yes.
Did you, in fact, investigate Commissioner Edwards' allegations against Commissioner Pruz?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and to clarify, what is the relationship between Commissioner Edwards and Commissioner Pruz?
Thank you.
Commissioner Pruz was the FCC, so the Family Court Commissioner. He is the head of that department, and Commissioner Edwards is the Deputy Family Court Commission, so his subordinate.
Okay, so this was Commissioner Edwards alleging that his supervisor was harassing him. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, and then you investigated those allegations.
Yes.
Did you reach any conclusions?
Investigated in
about
air
allegations
quotes.
as a result of your investigation?
Right, as an HR.
Yes, I did.
And what did you conclude about Commissioner Edwards' allegations?
Well, I was unable to substantiate that Commissioner Pruz was creating a hostile work environment for Commissioner Edwards at that time.
Did you sustain any violations against Commissioner Pruz?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what were those allegations that you did sustain?
Yes, I
I'm sorry, but does that sound familiar to anybody? Patterson?
Yeah,
That
sustain all of the miscommunication
bad
issue.
manager, right?
Yeah, unprofessionalism, but none of it rises to the category of anything.
That's
So, right.
right. It's not
Everything you said
illegal.
was true, but we don't deem it toxic. Which just is perfect. That's what you need is gaslight you the whole time, including HR.
All right. Well, what's Alashem do it to somebody else?
believe that I had to recognize that there was some inappropriateness as Commissioner Cruz was acting in his managerial capacity. And I can elaborate a little bit
Just a
more
tiny,
if you
like
would
a
like.
hint of that
Please.
old
Oh,
inappropriate.
sure. So there were instances where I believe that Commissioner Cruz didn't provide or provided minimal training to Commissioner Edwards, which I thought was inappropriate for a new leader coming into that position. In addition, there were some comments that Commissioner Cruz made that Commissioner Edwards had told him on occasions make him uncomfortable or that he didn't like, and so I thought that was inappropriate for him to continue to make comments in that manner.
Are they race based by any chance?
Ms. Wilborn, did you find that your investigation ended
That's what
the
cross
difficulties between
examination's
Commissioner
for, right?
Cruz and Commissioner Edwards?
They're going to get into
No,
violent
it did not.
language.
It escalated them quite drastically.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it was,
Shouldn't have filed a complaint,
I
I
believe
guess.
Commissioner Edwards did not agree with the findings of the investigation and continued to reiterate that he was being harassed in every scenario. And there was some frustrations and some blatant disrespect, disregard, and insubordination that came from Commissioner Edwards towards Commissioner Bruce.
But that could have easily been he continued to make complaints.
Right. And she is now reversing it all against the victim, because the victim didn't get any reaction or consequence for what they put forth and said they turned it around to him. So it's, I mean,
Right, but
extremely
that could go either way, right? That could go that Edwards is continuing to make complaints against Cruz, or that Edwards wasn't happy with her decision. Right, that's what
right,
she's trying to portray it as. But him also not being happy with her decision could also be him continuing to make complaints.
right.
So yeah,
And he's very detailed. So
Did you feel that that interfered with Commissioner Cruz's ability to run the department effectively?
making complaints.
Yes, it did. Um, Commissioner Pruse was quite often taking responsibilities off of Commissioner Edwards' plate to allow him the space and opportunity to complete certain tasks that Commissioner Edwards just wasn't able to do in a timely fashion.
like what?
At some point, did you have a candid conversation with Commissioner Edwards about his interactions with others?
I did, yes.
What did you tell him?
Um, I was really speaking from a place of a colleague trying to give some advice on, his career trajectory and how every disagreement doesn't have to be a war. Everything doesn't have to be a battle. He would need some alliances as he progresses in his career. And so he should probably take those things
Is
into
it
consideration as he moves forward.
Because that could
fall in
very
Did he?
line
easily
or your
be
career's
a
over?
shut up and don't make complaints.
Exactly. Fall in line, take your and shut your mouth, or your entire trajectory of your career is at stake.
Okay.
He seemed to comprehend the message that you were trying to convey to him.
I thought so, but ultimately I came to the conclusion that he did not see my candid conversation as support or coaching. Instead, he took those words and kind of weaponized them when he could.
Meaning he
Did
said
you
that you
have
were
any perspective
retaliating
on
against him.
whether or not Commissioner Edwards was provided any other coaching by other colleagues?
Um, I'm not exactly sure of that. I know that others confided in me about his behaviors and also thought that he needed some coaching.
Um, Going back to the relationship between Commissioner Edwards and Commissioner Cruz, did you feel that you were um, asked to referee or being drawn into the relationship as a HR manager?
Yes, quite often. The role of the HR manager is to act in more of an advisory type of role, and quite often I was used as a referee between the two when they disagreed on
It
matters.
was usually
And then sometimes as a scapegoat when decisions had to be made, it was quite often HR said as opposed to leadership making the decision.
See, now we
Oh,
knew
a
that.
Would
scapegoat.
you characterize Lorenzo Edwards as cooperative?
Right, but she's talking about the supervisors just then, right?
Yeah, she was. She was saying they don't want to take responsibility for it. So instead they say, well, HR is making us do this.
Right,
And, that sounds about right. That's what they do.
what they do. They're
And professional towards you, Ms. Wilborn?
I think there were times where he was, and then there was a drastic shift in his demeanor towards me following the investigation.
uh-oh.
So you say following the investigation, did you attribute any rationale or reason for the change in his demeanor?
No, not necessarily. It was more so that he disagreed with the
So
findings,
yes,
and then whenever he could, would be condescending, would be disrespectful, would be aggressive in his communication towards me, quite often.
Give examples.
right,
How would you
right.
characterize
Those
Lorenzo
are
Edwards'
generalizations.
conduct
We don't even know if
towards
it's true.
Commissioner Cruz? Was
Or
that
what he's talking
cooperative and
about.
professional?
It was not. It mirrored or it was worse than how he treated me. But you could tell that we were both on the outs with Commissioner Edwards. In meetings, Commissioner Edwards would regularly disagree, disregard, suggestions or recommendations, would blatantly call Commissioner Edwards a liar or question his mental capacity in front of others. He would say he's not going to do certain tasks or try to redirect tasks towards Commissioner Edwards. And they were tasks that were within his scope of work. So it was quite a intense environment whenever they were together in a room.
I really have a hard time figuring out who she's talking about because she keeps using
Ms. Wilborn,
passive
with the
voice.
benefit of hindsight,
Yeah, because
have you
she said
developed any
Cruz
opinions
said that
Right.
about
about Commissioner
Edwards.
Edwards'
That's
relationship with
completely
a woman
inappropriate.
named Elizabeth Candelaria?
Yeah, I think that quite early on, Commissioner Edwards was um, engaging in a working relationship with the court operations supervisor and had learned of some of her frustrations and took it upon himself to address those. And quite honestly, I think that they locked arms in the fact that they had frustrations with Commissioner Cruz. And I think that the way that they constantly berated their leader made me feel, in hindsight now, that they were working together to either intentionally try to get Commissioner Cruz like in trouble, reprimanded in some way, or they wanted to provide him with so much anxiety about their working relations that he would ultimately retire because there were rumors that Commissioner Cruz was set to retire relatively soon. So
Rumors,
I
rumors,
think that
rumors.
it was a concerted effort
This is
amongst the
flipping the
two
script too.
to get
Mhm.
Commissioner Cruz out. And historically, when the
HR, they
FCC
rely
leaves
on
that
rumors for
position, the
most
deputy
everything.
is promoted into that role. So I think there could have potentially been some of that going on behind the scenes.
Could
Just to
have
clarify, are you
potentially
saying that
been.
Deputy Commissioner was seeking
Yeah,
a
but I have
promotion by
no
getting
knowledge
his
or
commissioner to
information of
retire?
Yeah.
such.
Potentially, that's just my perspective now that I've been away from Milwaukee County for some time.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I have no further questions of Ms. Wilborn.
I don't know. I mean, Sultan could have been in there objecting like crazy, and
Miss
Melinda
Williams, you're
would,
on mute.
but Melinda Lawrence would certainly be
Attorney
objecting.
Sutton?
Thank you. Good morning. My name is William Sultan, and I represent Lorenzo Edwards in this case.
Good morning.
Lorenzo Edwards never told you that he wanted Family Court Commissioner David Cruz to be fired. True?
Correct.
Lorenzo Edwards never told you that he had the ambition to be the Family Court
Look at
Commissioner.
Melinda
True?
Lawrence. It's a different posture now.
Correct.
When you say that traditionally the Deputy Family Court Commissioner becomes the Court Commissioner, in the last 10 years I should say last 20 years in Milwaukee, that's only happened one time. True?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
So you only have one instance that you can think of in your entire career
See?
where the Deputy Court Commissioner was elevated to Family Court Commissioner, right?
That is correct.
And that person is
And
David
she's only
Cruz,
there
right?
for 3 years.
Yes.
That wasn't true for Judge Ana Barrios, right?
I am not sure. I was not here during that time.
Oh, suddenly she doesn't know any of the history.
Mhm.
But she sure could make all kinds of historical
Accusation.
perspective.
Did Family Court Commissioner David Cruz ask you to discipline Lorenzo Edwards?
Good question.
No, he didn't ask me to discipline Lorenzo
He
Edwards.
put it in a
Is that
text.
part of your role to discipline?
My role is to advise leaders on how they could potentially issue discipline for their employees.
Okay. Did Deputy Cruz ever come to you with advice on how to discipline Lorenzo Edwards?
I think we had multiple conversations about Commissioner Edwards' conduct and behavior. And at some point, we did talk about whether or not discipline was appropriate.
Okay.
Do you
at
think they
what point did
documented
you talk about whether
Right.
discipline was appropriate?
They were too busy
There were
speculating.
several occasions. I don't know the dates off the top of my head.
Do you remember Lorenzo Edwards ever receiving any discipline?
Good question.
Yes, while I was there, yes, he did receive discipline.
Do you remember how many times?
I believe I was involved in counseling that he received.
Not discipline.
Okay, was that the only form of discipline that you were involved in?
If I recall correctly, yes.
I'm sorry, when did you leave the county?
February of 2025.
So the only conversation concerning advising Deputy or Commissioner Cruz about disciplining Deputy Commissioner Edwards was the one counseling forum?
Objection.
You knew it. Told you.
What is your objection?
It misstates her prior testimony.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Disagrees with
I
facts.
said it misstates her prior testimony.
What?
I'm trying to get clarity, that's what I'm trying to do. I can re-ask the question.
Thank
Just
you.
go, yeah, yes, please re-ask the question.
So earlier I heard you testify that part of your role was to advise leaders on discipline, right?
Yes.
And you recall having been involved in a conversation with Commissioner Cruz about a counseling form that Lorenzo Edwards received. Is that right?
Yes.
And all I'm trying to learn is that the only formal discipline advising conversation that you were a part of?
Yes. However, there were conversations, multiple conversations on how to provide him with some coaching and guidance to allow him the opportunity to self-correct.
And what I'm trying to learn is, did those conversations happen before or after the counseling forum?
Both, I would say. We had many conversations about coaching him
Many.
prior to and following the investigation and the discipline.
And who
You
was
think
supposed
they
to do
documented any of it?
the coaching?
We thought it would be best that Judge Ashley would be involved in that, mostly because Commissioner Edwards didn't take heed to my coaching or Commissioner Cruz's coaching. So Commissioner Cruz would be involved, but ultimately it would be coming from Judge Ashley, who he respected.
Okay.
So I heard you say that
Okay. I'm this we need to look up. Debbie, I'm just a little bit afraid of if I start opening web pages, then I'm going to screw everything up. But I'm guessing that they're talking about Judge Carl Ashley.
I've he's the head of the thing. Hold on.
I'm guessing that he's not white.
He's not white.
Right. So that
No,
and
he's
we
not.
also know that they've got this pattern here of hiding. She just said they have this, he, meaning the commissioner, the supervisor's got this pattern of hiding behind HR. Right?
Right, and get a black guy in there to tell him.
Get a black guy to black explain it to the other black guy that he chill out and learn, focus on his career.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's about it. Yep.
You provided some coaching to
Allegedly.
Deputy Commissioner Edwards, is that right?
That would have been that candid conversation that we had. It was some informal coaching.
And what I'm trying to learn, is that one coaching, or is that more than one coaching?
So from me, it would be one conversation, but from his leaders, ultimately there would have been more than that one conversation that he had.
Okay. Which leaders provided conversations that you would consider coaching?
I would say Commissioner Cruz and Judge Ashley.
Now, I heard you say, I would say. What I'd like to know is, do you know whether Commissioner Cruz provided any coaching sessions to Deputy Commissioner
Nice
Edwards?
question. Yeah.
I would say yes, they provided me with some feedback that they've had conversations with him,
Bam.
but I think that would be a better question to direct to
And nobody
him
asked.
specifically.
Nobody asked you what you
Okay, is it
thought
fair to
about
say
the
you don't
question.
have any personal knowledge of any coaching done by Commissioner Cruz or Chief Judge Ashley?
I wasn't in the meetings, but I received the feedback that they had conversations with him.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
what
all
was
talking about him behind his back.
Sorry, what was the feedback from Chief Judge Ashley?
Good one.
That they had spoken with him about his behavior, and the dynamics between he and Commissioner Cruz.
All right, but the purpose of coaching is corrective action, right?
Not necessarily.
Did Judge Ashley
What-
indicate that he was
Is
satisfied with the
punitive
coaching
coaching?
session?
I don't know if he was satisfied with it, but the conversation was conducted with the hopes that Commissioner Edwards would be receptive to that feedback.
Okay,
But
let
he
me
didn't
ask
know
you
he was
similar
being
questions
coached.
about
But he didn't know
Commissioner
he was being
Cruz. Did
What they were even
Commissioner
looking
Cruz provide feedback on coaching sessions?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
I sure
because
hope
it
this is
didn't happen.
watchable. I'm having fun though. Look at her. What about race? Ask about race.
Sorry, just one moment here. I want to ask you about Exhibit 19.
That makes sense that he would. Okay. Um, That'd be too bad I've got the cameras all switched out because it looks like I'm ignoring him. But what I wanted, I mean, what I really want to hear about is the core issue. Okay. So I want to start hearing some questions about, I assume it's race. I know, right, between this guy and everybody pronounces this Proust, the supervisor's last name differently, but I haven't really
I know.
seen what his
It's
identity
Cruz.
politics. Okay.
Yeah. It's not Cruz. It's Prus. Because I looked that up too. It's Pruhls.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
what I figured. I figured it was
yeah.
European. It's in the end, right? So, okay, so that makes some sort of sense. But I'd still like to hear more questions about what does she know about everybody's identity, right?
Okay. Yeah. They those
Because
are worthwhile.
this Renz guy, he knows what's going on, and so does the Phoebe Williams person. Both of the commissioners here, the judges here, who are also called commissioners. They know what's going on, even though they're going to vote for management or whatever. But they're not. They know Judge Ashley and all the rest. Okay. And
Yeah.
again, I don't know anything about what actually Judge Ashley said or didn't say or whatever, but we're
Oh, you'll
speculating.
hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're speculating here that the whole point was based on her statement, was to bring in some cover for the Cruz guy. Right? She
Right.
said because he respects Ashley. Well, as soon as I heard respects, I was then thinking race and going on. Okay? So
Right.
that's our data points. But just assuming that's all the case, then I want to know, well, why did he think why did Cruz think Edwards respected Ashley?
Right. That would be the question to ask outright.
That's what I
What
want to
made you
know.
think that? Or was it based on the way they look?
Right. Do they like have the same mustache groomer? Like, what's the thing? They bocce ball enthusiasts, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can they both deadlift 300 pounds? I don't know.
Something's the same.
It's the same. Okay. And it's not like it's it's not like William Sultan doesn't know who Carl Ashley is. It's not like, or it's not like everybody in this room doesn't know that. That's why I'm trying to say maybe that's why. But to the extent that we've talked about this before, right? Sometimes these hearings are just the first step, but it's your chance to get things on the record. So that's why we have
That's right.
these huge battles to like talk about this. Now they're not going to want to do that. Now, sometimes you come in, and this happens all the time, where you think it's like could be close, right? Maybe there's a 10% needle that I got to shift here. Okay. So you're like, I'm going to go in saying pretty please. And then when you lose, you're like, shit, I should have burnt the place down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's all strategy sometimes. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's also
What's good about this
Yep.
is, like you said, they get a lot of people on the record, and anybody like me who watches from afar can very easily see that the whole thing is shady. It doesn't make sense. People aren't telling the same story. How the heck would this court commissioner even know what these people were thinking? And in the end, when you find out the reason, the thing that supposedly caused him to be terminated, it's just wild. So
I'm guessing you all that Gabby skipped to the end.
I went ahead a little bit because I had a little bit of fun with this case, and it's interesting.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Okay, it's really weird. I've got this one camera that shows me going this way and another one that shows me going. All right, we're ready?
Well, we know you're there.
Okay.
One.
Do you want me to show the witness or should?
Alicia, if you wouldn't mind pulling up the exhibit.
One moment.
Good question.
Thank you.
Oh, he actually obviously has a computer there. It doesn't really look like he does.
And exhibit 19, correct?
Yes.
Alicia, for my clarification, this is PRB exhibit 19, correct? Not, yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
Debbie,
thank
do you
you.
think there's any reason to be watching out for any
Have you seen
personal
exhibit
information
19
on these?
before?
I don't remember this
Um,
particular part.
Okay.
it doesn't look familiar to me right now, and the bottom portion's a little blurry, but it appears to be a document that we would have had with Milwaukee County. So it's quite possible that I saw it during my tenure there.
Oh, like his job description.
Right. Like, have you ever heard an HR person not use the conditional would, should, possibly? This is something we generally do like that.
Right. She has interesting word choice and probably very purposeful. It's a little evasive.
We are at the 30-minute mark, so I was thinking we'll cut it off here and start almost immediately. Okay?